work in a hospital. I am a nurse. My job is to help sick people. I work long hours every day. I work during the day. And sometimes I work at night. I love my job because I like helping people. Before last year, I was alone. I had no boyfriend. And I lived by myself. I worked all the time, and I was very tired.
After work, I often visited my mother. My mother lives in a small village. She is old, so I like to help her too. Life was quiet and simple. One day, something changed. A new doctor came to work at our hospital. His name is Michael. Michael is 2 years younger than me. He is 31 years old and he is very handsome. He is tall with brown hair and blue eyes. He smiles a lot. All the nurses like him because he is friendly and kind.
At first, I thought Michael would not notice me. I am not very slim, and I am just an ordinary woman. I don't wear fancy clothes, and I do not have long, beautiful hair. I did not think Michael would be interested in me. But then, Michael started talking to me. He was always kind to me. He asked me how I was doing. He smiled at me every day. I was surprised. I did not think someone like Michael would be interested in someone like me. One day, Michael asked if I needed a ride home. I said yes. He drove me home in his car. It was a nice car, and we talked the whole way. We talked about work, our lives, and our families. I felt very happy talking to him. Michael was easy to talk to. After that, Michael often drove me home. Sometimes, he would bring me coffee or tea at work. We would sit together in the cafeteria during lunch and talk. I started to like him more and more. I looked forward to see him every day. Then, one weekend, Michael asked if I wanted to go to the movies. We both had a day off, so I said yes. We went to see a movie together, and after the movie, we went for a walk. I was so happy. I thought maybe Michael liked me as much as I liked him. But then, a few days later, Michael told me something surprising. He said,
Anna, I need to tell you something. I am married.
I was shocked. I did not know he had a wife. He never talked about his wife, and he did not wear a wedding ring. Michael explained that he had been married for 5 years. His wife's name is Laura. They do not have any children. He said he was not happy in his marriage. He said they did not have much in common. They did not spend much time together. They had different interests. Michael told me he liked spending time with me because I made him happy. He said he felt comfortable with me. He told me I was easy to talk to, and he enjoyed being around me. I didn't know what to do. I liked Michael very much, but I didn't want to cause any problems. I started to think a lot. I wondered why Michael liked me if he already had a wife. His wife was probably very beautiful, and I didn't understand why he would want to spend time with me. I thought about it every day. I was confused. I didn't know if I should continue seeing Michael or if I should stop. I didn't want to hurt anyone, but I was happy spending time with him. A few days later, something happened. I went to the big supermarket in the city. I was there to buy food. As I walked through the aisles, I heard a familiar voice. It was Michael. He was talking to someone. I saw him before he saw me. He was with a woman. I guessed it was his wife, Laura. Laura was very beautiful. She was tall and elegant. She looked like a model. She wore expensive clothes and she smiled a lot. They were laughing together and they looked very happy. I felt sad. I didn't know what to do. I left the supermarket quickly. I didn't want them to see me. I went home and thought about it. I felt confused. Why did Michael spend time with me if he had a beautiful wife? Why did he choose to talk to me? I started to think about my situation. I didn't want to be the other woman in Michael's life. I wanted to make the right decision, but it was hard. I knew I had to talk to Michael and figure out what to do. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Michael. I thought about how kind he was to me and how much I enjoyed spending time with him. But I also thought about his wife. She was beautiful and looked perfect. I didn't understand why Michael would choose to be with me when he had a beautiful wife. The next day, I went to work, feeling tired and sad. I didn't want to see Michael, but I knew I had to talk to him. When I saw him, he smiled at me like everything was normal. But I couldn't smile back. I needed to know what was really going on. Michael, we need to talk, I said. He looked at me confused.
What's wrong, Anna?
He asked. I saw you at the supermarket with your wife, I said. You looked happy. I don't understand why you are spending time with me if you're happy with her. Michael looked sad.
I'm not happy, Anna.
He said.
Laura and I don't have the same connection that you and I have. With you, I can be myself. You make me feel alive.
I didn't know what to say. I liked Michael, but I didn't want to be the reason someone's marriage fell apart. I decided to give myself some time to think. I told Michael that I needed space. Over the next few days, I thought about everything. I talked to my best friend, Sarah, and told her about Michael. Sarah is always honest with me. She told me,
Anna, you deserve someone who can be with you fully. Don't settle for less.
I knew she was right. I needed to think about my own happiness and what I wanted in life. A week later, Michael called me. He wanted to meet and talk. I was nervous, but I knew I had to be honest with him. We met at a park, and I told him how I felt. Michael, I care about you, but I can't be in this situation, I said. You need to decide what you really want. If you're not happy with Laura, you should talk to her. But I can't be the other woman. Michael looked sad, but understood.
I care about you, Anna.
He said.
I will think about everything. I just want you to be happy.
We said goodbye, and I walked home, feeling both sad and strong. I knew I made the right decision, but it wasn't easy. Life is full of difficult choices, but sometimes we have to choose what is best for ourselves. The days after I ended things with Michael felt strange. Part of me missed him, but I knew I did the right thing. I needed time to think about my life and what I truly wanted. I spent more time with my friends and focused on my work at the hospital. Things slowly started to feel normal again. One afternoon, as I was leaving the hospital, I decided to take a walk through the park. It was a sunny day, and I needed some fresh air. As I was walking, I heard someone call my name.
Anna.
A familiar voice called out. I turned around and saw Daniel, an old friend from college, walking towards me. We hadn't seen each other in years.
Daniel, what a surprise!
I said, smiling. We hugged, and he asked if I had time for a coffee. I agreed, happy to catch up. He wasn't like Michael. He was open and honest. And I didn't feel confused when I was with him. I realized that I didn't miss Michael anymore. Daniel and I continued to see each other. We went to the movies, took long walks in the park, and sometimes just sat and talked for hours. He was kind, funny, and always made me feel good about myself. Daniel and I had been together for almost a year, and everything was going well. I trusted him, and we spent a lot of time together. One day, though, something happened that made me question everything. It was a Friday afternoon. I had just finished my shift at the hospital and decided to surprise Daniel at his favorite cafe. I knew he often went there after work to relax with a cup of coffee. I walked in, expecting to see him sitting alone. But what I saw made my heart sink. Daniel was sitting with a woman. She was beautiful, tall, with long hair, and a bright smile. They were laughing and talking closely. I stood at the entrance watching them. My mind began to race. Who is she? I thought. Is she his girlfriend? Why didn't he tell me about her? I didn't know what to do. Should I walk over and say hello? Or should I leave and pretend I never saw them together? My heart was pounding, and I felt a knot in my stomach. After a moment, I decided to leave. I couldn't face him or the woman. I hurried out of the cafe and walked home, feeling confused and hurt. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about what I saw. I didn't sleep well, and in the morning, I woke up feeling even worse. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I couldn't shake the feeling that Daniel was hiding something from me. Later that day, Daniel called me. His voice cheerful, like nothing was wrong.
Hey, Anna. Do you want to go for a walk this evening?
He asked. I hesitated. I didn't know if I could act normal after what I saw. but I agreed to meet him, thinking I would talk to him about it. When we met in the park, Daniel was smiling as always. We walked for a while, talking about our day, but I couldn't focus. I kept thinking about the woman in the cafe. Finally, I stopped walking and turned to him. Daniel, I need to ask you something, I said, my voice shaking a little. He looked at me concerned.
What's wrong, Anna?
I saw you yesterday at the cafe. I began, trying to stay calm. You were with a woman. You seemed really close. I thought maybe she was your girlfriend. Daniel's eyes widened in surprise.
Wait, what? You saw me? At the cafe?
Yes, I said quietly. And I didn't know what to think. Daniel was silent for a moment, and my heart sank. I thought maybe he was about to confess that he had been hiding something from me. But then, he laughed softly and shook his head.
Anna,
He said, reaching for my hand.
that woman wasn't my girlfriend. She's my cousin, Emma.
Your cousin? I asked, feeling a little embarrassed.
Yes.
He explained.
Emma just moved to the city. And she doesn't know many people here. I was catching up with her, helping her feel more at home. I didn't mention it because it didn't seem like a big deal.
I let out a sigh of relief. Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel. I just saw you two together. And I jumped to conclusions. Daniel smiled gently and squeezed my hand.
It's okay, Anna. I understand why you were worried. But you don't have to be. There's no one else. You're the only person I care about.
Hearing his words, I felt a wave of relief wash over me. I had been so quick to assume the worst. But now, I realized I had nothing to worry about. Daniel had always been honest with me, and I needed to trust him. One evening, as we were having dinner, Daniel asked me about my past relationships. I hesitated at first, not sure if I was ready to talk about Michael. But I trusted Daniel, so I told him everything. I was seeing someone before we reconnected. I began, looking down at my plate. His name was Michael, and he was complicated. He was married, and I knew it wasn't right. But I cared about him. In the end, I chose to walk away. Daniel listened quietly, not interrupting. When I finished, he reached across the table and took my hand.
I'm glad you told me, Anna. I know that must have been hard. But I'm here for you now. And I want us to be honest with each other.
I nodded, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. Thank you, Daniel. I want that too. From that moment on, I knew Daniel was someone I could trust. We continued to build our relationship, supporting each other through life's ups and downs. I didn't regret ending things with Michael. It had been the right decision. And now, I was with someone who truly made me happy. One day, while we were walking in the park, Daniel stopped and looked at me seriously.
Anna, I have something to ask you.
He said. I looked at him, a little nervous. What is it?
I've been thinking a lot about us,
He began.
and I know we've only been together for a year. But I can't imagine my life without you. You make me happy every day, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
My heart raced as I listened to him. Was he asking what I thought he was asking? Daniel reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. He opened it to reveal a beautiful ring.
Anna, will you marry me?
I was in shock. I hadn't expected this at all. But as I looked into Daniel's eyes, I knew the answer. Yes, I said, tears of happiness filling my eyes. Yes, I will. Daniel smiled, sliding the ring onto my finger. We hugged, and I felt a wave of happiness wash over me. I never thought I'd find love after everything that happened with Michael. But here I was, engaged to someone who truly cared for me. Michael was part of my past. And while it was a difficult time, it helped me grow stronger. Now, I was starting a new chapter with Daniel. And I couldn't wait to see what the future held. Life has a funny way of surprising us. But sometimes, the things we don't understand lead us to the best parts of our lives. Life wasn't always easy. But with Daniel by my side, I felt stronger. We faced challenges together, but we always found a way to work through them. And as time went on, I realized that this was the kind of relationship I had always wanted. One built on trust, respect, and love.